For one, I was really happy. I mean, that was a great atmosphere. Really happy that the community came out, made it a really cool experience. The band was great. The football team and the students were great. Uh, and as much as I'm not happy with how we played, I think it was probably a pretty entertaining game to watch. Obviously getting way down, coming back, taking the lead. Last 2 minutes just going back and forth on who was going to make the big plays. Offensively, it was probably our worst shooting game of the year in that gym. Obviously, Marcus going 0 of 11 from 3. On that side of the ball, yeah, we didn't make shots. There was a few things we didn't execute great. We always say you should be able to score 70 in your own gym. If we would have scored 70 in our own gym, you win the game. The disappointing part was the defensive part, and some of it was mental, some of it was physical, some of it was the competitive stuff, and that's the side where, and especially with kind of the starting group, like the most confidence I have going into every game is usually those guys on that side of the ball, and it was the worst performance we've had in a long time, if not the whole year, defensively. And the good thing about that is hopefully that's more correctable than making shots. But credit to Northern, they played a really good game. Defensively, they switched some things up. Offensively, they did attack some of our, by defensive rating, I think we have the best defense in the region, and they found a couple places to attack, and they kept hitting it home, and our guys didn't adjust.
Is it maybe good to have had this game in order to kind of help these guys understand that they have to play at a certain level every game?
When something goes wrong like that, you got to hope things happen for a reason, and you got to put it that way. I don't ever want to say a loss is good, but I mean, we had won 8 in a row. We've had a lot of success, and it'll be an easier answer Saturday afternoon to tell you that. If we win Saturday, then I'll be much more okay with this loss and say, yes, we needed that loss to regroup us if we play well. And losing a game like that is all about how you respond. So if we respond the way I hope we will and think we will and the way we should, then maybe it will be.
Is it frustrating at all that you didn't have a game, or you don't have a game Thursday to kind of have that first reset before you play them again on Saturday like you do during the season?
I guess it's the NCAA. I mean, the conference tournament, it's new seasons every time you start. So when you're playing do or die basketball, you can't really, there's no time to get acclimated or to get used to things or to do anything. I mean, every possession matters. It starts from the opening tip, and we got to be ready to go.
What do you feel like Dylan was able to do to attack you defensively so that he was able to be so effective on Saturday?
I mean, for one, he's a really good player. He's been a 3-time All-Conference. He stepped up. He made shots. He did what an upperclassman needs to do to win a game like that. We didn't take away the space enough. I think schematically some of the things we were doing were okay, but we gave him a little bit too much of a cushion so that when he came and he gave us that blow, he got too close to the rim where we need to meet and have that collision be a little bit further out. The shots he makes are tough, and he's going to be able to jump and shoot over a lot of our guys. We just got the further out we can get that from the basket, hopefully the percentages go down. And honestly, we got to avoid a couple of the fouls. There was a couple that we were too handsy, and putting him on the line gives them a couple of easy looks.
You weren't able to use Dawson the way that you normally do on Saturday either. How do you get him more involved?
He's got to be the aggressor. He got pushed out to 18 feet. Our game plan was to go into him a ton in the first half, and we couldn't give him the ball. And a couple of it's the passes, but a lot of it's him getting shoved out of the position. He's got to be more aggressive, and he's got to want it down there. And he's a huge X factor for us, and I mean, we wanted to play inside out a little bit more and not have as much Marcus usage, especially in the first half, and we weren't able to get it inside. And it started on the first play of the game. We threw it in there, and he didn't keep Keel on his back. I mean, he's got to be aggressive, and he's got to want it. And if he does that, we're going to have a great chance.
Obviously the number of threes, it's pretty clear as far as, what you're normally used to doing. Like, I think the previous game at home, Ty had four threes in the first half, and you had 4 as a team on Saturday. What does it take to get that going?
Obviously, I mean, the easy answer is what your previous question. We get the ball inside, and they have to worry about an inside presence a little bit. The threes are going to open up. But those guys they're smart over there. They know us as well as anybody. They're not going to want us to shoot threes. I mean, catch and shoot threes are probably the top of their scout on what they're trying to take away, and they did a pretty good job of that. We still had some pretty good looks. Some of it starts with our defense. We didn't get enough stops. If we get stops, it allows us to get out and run and get some threes in transition. When you get as few as stops as we got on Saturday, it's hard to get out and run just because there's not an opportunity.
And when you talk about getting out and running at the same time, I would assume it's got to be tough to get into a rhythm when it's constantly fouls and free throws as opposed to shots and then trying to make plays.
Yeah, for sure. The pace of that game was statistically one of the slowest we played all year, and yeah, some of that's playoff basketball. I mean, they talk about that in the NBA. They talk about that at all levels of college basketball. The game slows down in the tournament. And honestly, it's going to be magnified in a game against your rival for the 4th time. I mean, we know everything they're going to try to do. We know everything about them and vice versa. There's no secrets. It's going to be a rock fight. It's going to be who executes the best, who's tougher, who wants it more.
What's it going to take to have success against them for a 3rd time?
I mean, obviously, I'd like to say we make a couple more shots and do some of that, but the number one thing is going to be we have to defend better. I mean, we have to be more locked in. They got some players that are going to make some shots. They got some players that are going to make some plays. I'm not talking about stopping that. I'm saying we need to be locked in on every coverage. All the mental aspects have to be sharper than they were on Saturday.
Is it going to be tough to not try to overuse Marcus just simply because of what he can give you?
That's a flow of the game thing. I mean, hopefully we get out there and guys are making shots and we can get it inside and do all that. I mean, that's typically how things go. But he's the best advantage creator probably in Division II. So, I mean, if we're having a hard time creating advantages or other guys aren't, yeah, we're going to have to use Marcus a lot. I mean, that's what it is. I mean, that's kind of been the recipe of what's made us successful most of the year. I mean, you can go all the way back to when our season kind of changed at Moorhead. I mean, we defended our butts off, and Marcus kind of led the way offensively. So as much as we've shown that we can be balanced, especially in the last month when Marcus hasn't been as efficient in usage, there's still the way this team was kind of constructed from the start was a little bit the other way. So the game could go multiple ways. I mean, Marcus comes out and hits a bunch of threes. It's going to open out things up for everybody. We get the ball inside, have some success and get it moving, or we get out and run. All those different things can happen. And we just got to be ready for all those situations.
Talk about Gabe's growth. I know we keep kind of coming back to him, but he started the year as just a piece coming off the bench when healthy, and now he's starting, and you're counting on him both defensively and a bit offensively at the same time.
100%. I mean, him and I think Gabe and Ty are take them up there with anybody in the league and how good they were. And I do think they both played a little bit like freshmen on Saturday. For us to have success in the NCAA tournament, they're going to have to play to what they're capable of. What they need to be aggressive. They need to be confident and need to be the players they can be.
How do you help them understand that, given that you played the game, you know what it's like to battle through these kinds of situations?
They're competitors and they work their butts off. We talked about it. We watched the film. I think they both will. I think that's the kind of people they are, and that's what makes them good. And I think they're both super anxious to get back out there and get another shot at them.
What's the mood like with kids like Adam and Pete who, this is their last kick at it?
I hope it's do or die. It's the last chance they have forever. If they're not excited, then I'm pretty sure they're very excited. But if you're not, then I don't know what we're doing at this point.
Is it exciting to have this game not here as far as just, not having the distractions of being at home, maybe get out and just play?
For sure. It's an NCAA tournament. It's going to be real cool having the A teams down there. There's always a different kind of buzz in a gym like that with the NCAA tournament, different feelings, different vibes, things like that. Excited for the opportunity. A couple of those older guys have been to an NCAA tournament. It was during COVID, so there was very, very limited fans and weird protocols going on, but kind of had a little bit of that excitement going on. But no, it should be a great experience, and hopefully they're excited and crazy things happen. It's March.
How neat is it that the top 4 teams out of the GLIAC are all going to be there? Like this, it really shows, doesn't it, that this league is tough to win.
There's been a feeling for the last several months that we know, and honestly, that's credit to Northern for winning this conference tournament with the 4 best teams up here. Credit to us for winning a league that the top was as deep and balanced as it's been in years, and to win that outright. Watching the conference tournament makes you appreciate, and hopefully our guys appreciate, how much of an accomplishment that was after the fact. But, the one thing that should give you confidence is if you can get through that, you can win the region. I think the region's wide open. I think the GLIAC is going to be well represented down there. I think all 4 of us had a lot of success against the other 2 conferences in the non-conference. I know the GLVC had the best overall record conference-to-conference play, but if you would just take the top half of those conferences, the GLIAC fared very well.
This is the exact reason that you play the schedule you do, isn't it? So that you're ready for these kinds of games.
100%, and it helped us in the thing. The 5 Northern Sun teams we played were all regionally ranked. Those are huge for your numbers, your resume to get into this thing. And obviously we played UMSL, who's in this tournament, first game of the year. So, 6 of those 7 D2 non-conference games we played were against regionally ranked teams. Our guys have seen it all. Obviously playing the top half of our league and even the middle of our league was right there with everything. We've seen everything. We're tested. And more stuff can come up in the NCAA tournament, but we're battle tested. Some years it can come back and backfire on you. I think we'd have a much better record the last 2 years if we wouldn't have lost so much confidence getting beaten in those tough non-conference games and scheduled some more D3 teams that you just know you're going to win and build confidence instead of going on the road and testing yourself. But I think the accumulation of the last couple of years doing that has really helped us kind of figure that out.
Even though Saturday didn't go the way you wanted it to, you still finished 8-1, and that's quite an accomplishment with this group, isn't it?
Sorry, 8-1 or what?
In the last
Oh, the last 9 games, yeah. No, we were hot, and yeah, after starting 2 and 3, I mean, we've been pretty solid. There was a couple tough games in there, but no, I want to make sure our guys know that you still have the opportunity to go and beat anybody in this regional. We've shown that we're good enough to do that, and we need to play like it.
You've always talked about wanting to play your best basketball at the end of the season, and up until obviously Saturday, it seemed like you guys were able to do that, especially at home.
No, I think we were a really good team in February, and I thought we were playing as well as anybody. I think Northern was also kind of in the same boat. But, yeah, I felt like we were continually getting better. We took a little step back Saturday, and we got a week here of practice to get ourselves back on.